Hello everyone, my name is KelSounds and this is episode 2 of the Cinematic FX sound design series. Today we're going to be making a swoosh sound effect, and this one's pretty fun. I'm excited to show you guys how I go about making it. And if you're just tuning in, I'm basically doing another series called the Cinematic FX sound design series. The Ableton project file, the samples, and the presets will all be available in one project file. So if you're a Patreon subscriber and you want to check that out, you can. It'll be in episode 5 in the description. But yeah, let's just go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so I have a swoosh group here inside of Ableton. I got the swoosh, which has our Serum 2 synth, and then I got a layer effects, which we'll get into later. So the first thing I want to do for this swoosh effect is probably, of course, lay down some MIDI. So I have the MIDI set to G1. We are going to have unison on this oscillator A, but basically we're going to start off by turning up the detune. I'm going to turn the detune up all the way. I'm also going to turn up the blend all the way, so that way you hear more of the detune happening. I'm also going to open up the settings and set the mode to super, so the voice is spread out even more. And for the range of the detune, I'm going to set it to 5. Just so it sounds chaotic. So when we play back the sound, it'll sound like this. And that is pretty chaotic, I would say. And then I'm also going to turn on the noise. I'm going to set the level down to maybe like 50% or so. And the level of the noise, I'm going to set that to 75. Then I'm going to also turn on our filter here and make sure our oscillator A and our noise oscillator is going through here. Turn up the resonance a bit and turn up the drive. So it's already kind of shaping itself. And then I want to name this first macro 1 over here. Or I guess I have to assign it a modulator first. So I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop that to the cutoff. Probably set this around here, something like that. I'm going to rename this first macro filter, and it'll sound like this. Oh, snap. Looks like our level is not at 75. So let's go ahead and turn that up to 75. Whoops. Perfect. Now we're going to open up our FX inside of Serum 2. And the first thing I'm going to do is add a utility because I want to lower down the sound. So I'm going to come over here to near to the mix where the level's at. Lower that down a bit. And then I want to add a distortion and do soft clip. Turn up the drive a bit. Make sure the mix is up. And then I also want to add an OTT. So I'm going to I'm going to add another compressor and click on multiband. Turn up the below, so it's upwards compression. Turn down the thresh. Maybe turn up the gain a bit and adjust some of these settings in here. That is perfect. Alrighty, sweet. So now we got our first part of our sound. So now I'm going to exit out of our preset and group it, because we're going to be automating the filter. So I'm going to configure our Serum 2 and click on filter, which is modulating our filter inside of Serum 2. I'm going to right click filter, map to macro 1, get rid of all the macros, and then we're just going to show an automation. And so we'll do something like this. Kind of curve the shape a bit. And I think I'm going to adjust that a little bit more. I'm going to bring the filter down inside of our Serum 2. Do something like that. You show this in automation again. Just kind of tweaking things around here. Nice. And then I'm going to grab a reverb. I'm going to go to audio effects. Oh, perfect. I already knew what I wanted. And then I am going to tweak around some of the settings here. So for the input filter, I'll do something like this. Turn up the decay by quite a bit. Turn up the diffuse. And let's see. I don't think I want any pre-delay. Turn up the size of the room. Right click the dry wet, show in automation, and do a shape like this. Kind of mess around with the filter shape as well. Perfect. And then if you want to make things even more interesting, you can add a effects. So I'm going to grab a sample from the Kelsound sample pack library over here, and I am just going to type in effects. And let's see. Okay, this is the perfect sample. Add a bit of a fade here to this sample, and then I'm going to turn it down because it is kind of loud. And let's see what that sounds like. And heck, why not? I might even saturate this some more. So I'll grab a saturator. And then if you want to make things even more interesting, I can come in here inside of our Serum 2 and add a LFO, or automate the volume of our global amp inside of Serum 2. So I'll come over here to the matrix, come over here to source, and set it to LFO 1. Come over here to the destination of LFO 1, and we're going to go to global and set it to amp. And then I'm just going to turn the amount all the way up. And then for LFO 1, I'm going to turn it to hertz. And mess with the rate to add a sort of modulation to the amplitude of Serum 2, which has our unison and noise. And of course, you can go ahead and automate this inside of Serum 2. And so we could do something like this. And then if you just wanted to turn that effect off, you would open up Serum 2 again, come over here to the matrix, and then where it says output, you just turn that down. And as you can see, there's no modulation happening to the amplitude. I think I might keep it on actually though, because I do like the effect. And now for the fun part, I'm going to insert a audio track, set it to resampling. And now it is time to resample our effect that we made here. And so now you can take your sample, kind of edit it a little bit, consolidate that. There we go, turn off the warp. You can even mess with the pitch. Maybe I want to add a filter on top of this and automate that. and do something like that. But you can always add more post-processing to your sample or to the preset. And maybe if you layered it, you can do post-processing inside of the group that you have it in. But yeah, that is how you would make a swoosh effects. And just for the timestamp, here is our final sound. And then this is the sound without the layered effects. And then this is the sound without the modulation happening with the amplitude instead of our Serum 2. So yeah, as you can see, there's a bunch of variation that you can do. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Adios. Hello everyone, I hope you're enjoying the video. I just want to let you guys know that I have a Patreon. It's where I keep all my sample packs, synth presets, Ableton Racks, Ableton ALC files, Ableton project files, exclusive sound design tutorials / live streams, and any other content that I decide to release in the future. So pretty much the whole shebang. I also have a tip jar as a thank you for supporting my channel. So yeah, if you're interested in having access to all of the sounds that I use, or even having early access to videos, everything's going to be posted on my Patreon for my Patreon subscribers. And last, I also have a link to my GitHub, so if you want to go ahead and check that out, it'll be linked in the description on the homepage. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you later. Adios.